Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday evening lectures. We call this series "Wisdom in Action," right? And today's talk that we are going to reflect on the topic is meditating minds when silence is the source of our strength. Right? What comes to mind when I hear the word silence is a very famous quote by an Italian philosopher who was the pioneer in terms of stating that we live in a heliocentric universe rather than a geocentric universe. And he said, and I like it very much, he said, "Time is the father of truth. Its mother is our mind." And this quote is really something close to my heart, because what this essentially tells us is that we are in some way responsible to create our reality. And for that to happen, we first have to understand what is mind. If mind is the mother of time, then we need to really understand what mind is and how it works. And whenever we try to go into reflections and we try to think about, or most practices also try to control the mind, we want to control the mind. So then this idea comes about of silence. And I think it has many different interpretations and many different ways in which people like to approach it. But tonight, let's maybe look at a different perspective and how silence can truly act as a source of strength, not just as an absence of thoughts or an absence of feelings or absence of, on a physical level, just a sound as well. So we have Sister Rona, who's going to take us into that reflection, and hope you take some wisdom nuggets with you and apply that in our daily life. Yeah? So most welcome on Zoom as well. And please feel free to ask questions, and we have a mic, so whenever you want to ask or say something, we will circulate the mic so that the people on Zoom can also hear us.
Welcome. Welcome on this cold January day. And interesting, no? That on the topic of silence, we will come into sound. But we will experiment with silence also, and we will experiment with the power of that silence. But within the Brahma Kumaris, there is the understanding that meditation has to be combined with certain understanding and certain knowledge. It's not just silence. You also need to understand how the mind works and what we are supposed to be doing with that mind. And so we will do first a relaxation exercise, a mental relaxation exercise, and then we will explore further what that silence and what that power of silence is, and what the power is that comes through silence. But feel free to ask questions in between. There will be moments to share and interact if required. Okay? So I will speak few words and see if you can follow. Just take it as a guidance for what you do inside, which is simple. First of all, allow the body to be comfortable, but not so comfortable that you fall asleep, but just comfortable, relax. Sometimes we don't realize how tense we are, and therefore that tension also goes into the body. And just bring all your attention in this moment, right here and right now. And become fully aware of the position of the body. And relax the feet. Just let them be on the ground. Relax the legs, the hands, the arms, the shoulders. And let the breathing be regular and deep. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And become aware of how the air is pulled into the lungs on inhalation and pushed out of the lungs on exhalation. We have that ability of being aware of what is happening with the body, in the body, around. Become aware of the rhythm of the heartbeat and how the heart pumps the blood to the different parts of the body. Relax the shoulders and the muscles of the neck. And also the muscles of your face. And just drop everything else from your mind and be fully here and present and aware. And completely relax the body. And if other thoughts come into the mind, you don't fight with them, you just say, not now. I'm busy, relaxing. And now, also become aware of the one who is experiencing this body, the inner being. The being of consciousness. Soul. The one who uses the mind to create thoughts. And to use the image of light, a tiny star operating from the center of the forehead, for this real self, the soul, the inner being. And just hold in the mind the image of a tiny star. Pure, peaceful, serene light. And just hold this in your mind. A tiny star, living being of consciousness, a being of peace. And just fill the mind with this image of light and an atmosphere of quiet, clean, silence. At this moment, there's no need to create all kinds of thoughts. Just be at ease and in peace. Allowing the self to just be. And immerse the mind in that sense of lightness and timelessness. And stillness. I am living light. Innately peaceful. And as we come to the end of this meditation exercise, we aim to hold this vibe and this image in the mind of light as we go through the rest of the evening. was the concentration? Good. 100%? 80%? Around 80%? More than 50? Anything you like to share about? We meditated about 12, 13 minutes. Any observation? Anything you would like to share or ask?
In this time, when we have so much time to think and not think in the same time, in silence, our brains goes back and forth over this, some troubles or problems that we have it.
Yeah.
And I try to eliminate them.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't.
Come back.
They come back. So, what should we do? Leave it on, do something else, or practice more?
We also need to resolve our problems. But this is not the moment necessarily to do that. But first of all, become aware of this ability to think. And when we talk about silence, many times there is the thought that silence is the absence of noise. We can lower the music, we can isolate the room, sound isolate the room, then there is physical silence. But there can still be a lot of noise in here. And so real silence and power of silence is not just the absence of noise, but is the absence of noise inside. So what is this noise inside? All these thoughts. And you are already mentioning these thoughts of some problems that are there. And I don't want to think about them, but they come. And so we have different types of thoughts. You have useful thoughts, but you also have useless thoughts. Useful thoughts are thoughts of your agenda. 6 o'clock I want to be at the meditation center. 10 o'clock I have a dentist appointment. Thoughts about organizing your daily activities. These are useful thoughts. But useless thoughts are thoughts that have no, what is the word? No use in this moment. So there may be certain situations and there may be certain problems, there may be certain difficult things, but if at that moment I can't do anything about it, to think about it becomes a useless thought. And lots of the noise inside is because of these useless thoughts. And our useless thoughts, you can think about them as even as physical movements that are useless. Now, if whole day I'm doing like this, what will happen? What will happen? I will get tired, but I won't have achieved anything. No, I'm just doing this. Useless movements. I will get exhausted without achieving anything. Now, think of thoughts as useless actions. And your thoughts are your mental energy. So if you have lots of useless thoughts, you will feel tired and you will have achieved nothing. And so much of the weakness that comes in is of these endless useless thoughts that we have. And useless thoughts are different in character. No? They can be repetitive thoughts. Same thoughts over and over again. And you're not addressing the situation, but you're just thinking. Tired. Even in your dreams, it comes. It weakens us. It brings tiredness, but it also brings a sense of uselessness for ourselves. It undermines our self-respect. And useless thinking will lead us to negative thinking and destructive thinking, sooner or later. Now, the opposite of this is, instead of useless thinking, useful thinking, or thinking that addresses things, or resolving, thoughts of resolving things. You can say positive things, positive thoughts, but constructive is the word, constructive thoughts. Instead of useless thoughts, let's have constructive thoughts. And constructive thoughts will lead to positive thoughts and can even lead to noble thinking or elevated thinking. And so silence of mind, or peace of mind, is connected with this ability to shift useless thinking, destructive thinking, into constructive thinking, into thoughts that resolve things, or into elevated thoughts. Absence of thoughts is not really possible. Have you tried? Stop thinking. Thinking is natural for our mind. But destructive thinking is unnatural. Useless thinking is unnatural. But to slow down our thoughts and to have empowering thoughts, to have spiritual thoughts, that brings power. And one of the reasons why these thoughts harass us is we are not trained in creating constructive, consciously positive, or maybe even spiritual thoughts. And so when you say practice more, it means I have to guide my mind, teach my mind how to think again. What to think and what not to think. And why also. But we have allowed this mind to just go. Like a wild horse. It just goes. And then you sit down and say, okay, let's meditate now. What does the mind say? So to gently, with love, teach our mind what to think, what not to think. To slow down our thinking. To have powerful, empowering thoughts. Or to even have spiritual thoughts which have to do with the real nature of who we are as beings of consciousness. And during the day, during your daily activities, just checking your thoughts. Is this a useful thought or is this a useless thought? Moment you catch yourself, shift. Now you're standing at the subway and the train doesn't come. What do you think? What happened with the train? These trains are always late. Shouldn't be like this. Look at that, I want to be home. All these thoughts are useless. I could also think of something constructive, or I could even think of something spiritual. What I practice at this moment, past few days, is to just hold this image in my mind of being of consciousness, living light, and spreading the feelings of the vibrations of peace. Subway can use that. But at least I feel calm. Why the train is not there? Look at all these people. I want to be home. It is so cold. It just weakens me. Or think of some beautiful scene or something you like to think about, or some artistic thing. You have choice to what you think. But we haven't exercised that power of choice for a long time. So the mind just goes after whatever it is used to think. Whatever others feed it, whatever, Facebook feeds it, and TikTok. Understand? So some simple methods is at night, check during the day, what was the quality of my thoughts? How many useful thoughts did I have? Percentage-wise. How many useless thoughts I had? How many positive thoughts I had? How many elevated thoughts did I have? How many destructive thoughts did I have? And if you check that at night, it just takes 2 minutes, just percentage-wise, general. Tomorrow you will pay more attention. Moment you catch yourself, you shift. And what is also useful for that is have a theme for the day. Just like we make our agenda, at 9 I will do this, at 10 I will do this, at 12 I will do this. Make an agenda for your mind. Today I will reflect on the power of tolerance, for example. Or today I will focus on peace. Today I will reflect on the power of determination. So give your mind a theme, so that when you are at the subway and the train doesn't come, you have a theme to think about instead of this mind going all over. No? And if you do this just 2-3 days, you will notice the difference. This is like energy management for your mind. And if you're not so exhausted mentally, what will happen? Your focus will be more, you can manage your emotions better. You will feel better, even physically. So these are 2 simple exercises. During the day, observe your thoughts. Useful, useless, negative, or positive. And at the end of the day, just write down percentage-wise. And you'll start connecting what triggers and what doesn't. And if you have more energy, you will be able to address situations better. You will be able to see solutions instead of problems. Okay? So this power of silence, or the power that comes through silence, is that mental power that comes by cutting down waste thinking and waste feelings. Waste means useless. And just observe yourself. How many useless thoughts are there? It is like you're throwing away your mental energy. Okay. Any other thoughts or comments? Then let's have one more practice. And meditation is not about forceful and what is a tense, trying to focus. Meditation is about learning again to think naturally. Beautiful thoughts, peaceful thoughts, thoughts of appreciation, thoughts of encouragement, thoughts of the spiritual self, thoughts of the real nature of life, thoughts of God, even if you're wanting to take it to that level. And these are, we haven't allowed ourselves to think like that for a long time. So the mind is also a bit, what is the word? Confused. Doesn't know what to do. Okay. So let's take a few moments again. And just again, bring all your attention in this moment, right here, right now. And just become as if introvert. Attention is focused on the self. And self doesn't mean the body. Self means the thinking, being. The invisible experiencer. The body is the physical vehicle of the invisible experiencer. And so we are aware of the body, but also create consciously the awareness of the inner being. And to use the image of light, tiny star operating this body from behind the eyes, center of the forehead. A being of consciousness, a being of sparkling light. A guest in this body, a guest on this planet, a traveler through time and through space. And this whole physical world, including the body, is part of the game that we play out of human life. But the real self is the soul, the invisible player. Innately free, with divine potential. This is the real self. And just fill the screen of the mind with this image of a tiny star, living light. And flood the mind with this awareness of the self. As peaceful, free, immortal being. I am a being of light. I am a being of peace. And just try and grasp this mind that is at ease. At this moment, nothing to do, no needs, no desires. Fully accept everything as it is. The drama of human life is what it is. But what I feel inside is my choice. Clean, clear, joyful, lovely, being of light. Child of the Supreme. Silence is not the absence of thoughts, but silence is the existence of powerful thoughts, of pure thoughts, of thoughts about the higher nature of the self. Thoughts about the beauty, the innate greatness of the self. And as we go through the rest of the evening, let us aim to hold this atmosphere of cleanliness and stillness and lightness in the mind. Thank you. Another thing that also helps in this is to try and keep your eyes open, or sometimes also open it. The meditation that we practice here is also known as an open-eyed meditation, because the deeper aim, or one of the aims, is to become a master of your senses. This is the word that is called, that is used, master of your senses. One of the things that can easily distract us is our senses. No? You see something, your mind goes there. You hear something, your mind goes there. You smell something, thoughts go there. So the mind has become like a slave of the senses and the sense experiences. It doesn't have to be. We can observe, but our mind doesn't need to go. So someone comes in and we say, okay, a yellow t-shirt, a person wearing, you observe. But I don't need to think, oh, why a yellow t-shirt? Nice yellow t-shirt, where did they buy the yellow t-shirt? I also want a yellow t-shirt. It will be good to have a yellow t-shirt on Sunday. And actually I saw this yellow t-shirt in Macy's, but it was so expensive. Where will I get money? You understand? This mind just goes on and on. But it can also say, observe yellow t-shirt, full stop. Mind doesn't need to go there. Or somebody says something and then we think about it and thoughts and all kind of... We create all these stories in our head. And it weakens us. So actually silence is not that silence gives us power. We are powerful. But we are wasting our power. And by coming back to essential thoughts, to powerful, to useful thoughts, we economize. We're not wasting our power. So when there is no leakage, you'll be powerful.
Like you just described with the yellow t-shirt, a lot of times our mind just goes into spirals, and those thoughts are so fast and so relentless, spiral. So how do we stop that, and how do we come back to, like when we were meditating, our mind was so slow and calm.
So your mind can be slow and calm. It's just we need to pay attention to keep it. We don't pay attention enough. That is the thing. We don't teach our mind to slow down. And it is used to being in, overheat mode. All the time. But it is up to us. And one easy way that I was saying, learn during the day to just observe. Have the aim during the day to observe. Calm down. Why all these thoughts? Just as if teach yourself. What are all these useful thoughts for? Have a topic. We in the morning here we have a morning class after the meditation, which gives us topics, spiritual themes that we study together, but that I have something during the day also to think about, to reflect on, so that my mind has something to think about, that I like, that I have interest in, that I enjoy, that is useful, it is empowering. And so every time when you catch your mind, it goes off in some tantrum. You say, what? Hey, come back here. I have some other things that I want to think about. But we have to pay attention to this and have a certain interest to teach our mind how to think, what not to think. We have choice what we think. Who is creating your thoughts? I am. But I have to pay attention, otherwise it goes in the automatic mode. And at this moment, the automatic mode, the subconscious, is full with junk. So we have to override this subconscious and create newer impressions in the subconscious. And you just do that by thinking, choosing to think consciously. Useful thoughts, empowering thoughts, beautiful thoughts, spiritual thoughts. And allow those thoughts to be kept in your mind. I'm not sure if I'm able to express. You hold a certain thought and allow that thought to become an experience, a feeling, a vibration. Because what also happens is sometimes we think so fast, one thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. We don't allow the thought to flourish into a certain feeling or experience. And we think so fast, but what for? What we're in a hurry thinking about? Why are we in such a rush? And this is one of the part of the illness of the day, of the present time, is we think unconsciously. We need to think again more consciously and choose what to think and what not to think. And in your meditation, you're sitting down to consciously, as if train your mind with love, gently. Now we're gonna think about the spiritual self. Now I'm going to allow the mind to emerge that innate nature of peace or of love, or get a sense of timelessness. Want to say anything? Ask anything?
Thank you. That was very useful. I want to ask that how do we know that it's working? Or how do we know that there is some positive effect of doing these things so that I can be inspired and motivated to do more?
Well, one of the things that I notice for myself is that there is more clarity. Sometimes you have so many things going on and you're not clear what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, what to address, what not to address. More I sort out as if my thoughts, it becomes easier for me to think things through and to act on it. Was if it is all jumbled up, I'm not even clear what to do really, and then I'm just swayed by whatever comes along or whoever comes along. So there is more clarity internally also. Another thing is a sense of self-worth and self-respect comes more that I have a certain mental clarity and strength also. You begin to acknowledge the beauty of your own being. And it gives self-respect that is not dependent on what you have or what you own or who you have around you or what others say. Another thing that happens, I mean this doesn't happen today, tomorrow, but over time, another thing that happens is that your response to situations shifts. Something that before used to irritate you, now you laugh at it. Now, one of the things, I remember, toothpaste, what is this thing called tube? When people just press all over the place, it used to irritate me. Why they don't just, but they press right here and then the whole bunch of toothpaste is at the end, and it used to irritate me. And I learned that because my father, it used to irritate him, so it just goes from one generation to the next. But why am I creating that, that useless waste of energy for myself? And others will press anyway, anywhere, however they want, no matter what you say. So over time, I noticed that now I just laugh at it. And it doesn't irritate me anymore, whether they do or not do. Actually, the tube looks kind of nice. Not nice, but kind of some artistic form. That's now. So my internal attitude shift. And now I laugh at it. Certain people do things in a certain way, and you like it or you don't like it. More you become more internally focused, it doesn't affect you emotionally. That is another way that you can see that some progress is happening. Your perspective on things changes. You would see certain things in a certain way before, and now you see it differently. You have a broader perspective, a different perspective. These are all signs. And another sign is a certain creativity. More there is cutting down of waste, we become more creative. And creative doesn't only mean that you start painting or singing or so, or drawing, but creative also in your thinking. You can see solutions where you did not see them before. You can think of new things. These are all signs.
I have one more question. So there is a lot of distraction which also comes from social media. Like you said, the example of waiting for a train, the easiest thing to do is just
start
go,
scrolling.
yeah, on Facebook or Instagram and see what others are doing. And I could also be looking at some positive stuff, but it may not always be useful for me, and I can start comparing. So how can I cut that distraction, especially when I see my friends are there and maybe I feel like a FOMO or missing out on information. So how can I be strong enough to do that?
Yeah. Personally, from my own observations, distractions only work if I don't have something that interests me more. If I have something, and if I have identified something for myself that interests me, they can play 1,000,000 shorts on YouTube, but it will not pull me. Or because of my interests, I will be very selective. Something that nurtures me. So one thing is the interest, but also aim. What is my aim? Define your aim for your day, for your week, but also for your life. You know, if you need to catch the train to go to Poughkeepsie because you have a important meeting there with someone you haven't seen for 20 years and you love and you want to meet that person. And the train is leaving in 45 minutes. And there's no train anymore tonight. And somebody will come and tell you, oh, they have a sale at Macy's. 90% off of everything. And they're also giving ice cream and hot chocolate. Doesn't matter. You need to go get your train because you want to go meet that person. Understand? So distractions only have power if we don't have aim. And if we don't have interests. And this consuming of information, consuming of entertainment, it has killed our internal sense of aim and interests. So we're looking on YouTube now what should be interesting. We have to define what is interesting for us. And understand. So, and we are not taught these things anymore. We are taught how to dress up and how to, mathematics and how to make money. That we are taught. But what is aim in life? Is aim in life to make money? We don't even define anymore why we want to earn money. It's just earn money. No, there is that to be a different aim. No? We don't live to just earn money. For example, no? We need to have some more reflective thinking and define for yourself. Otherwise, we are like herd. Your aim becomes what everybody's aim is. To be in the sale in Macy's. I'm just giving silly example. No, but so, because a simple example, for me, one of my aims, not aims, this is a bit, for me it is important to have early morning meditation. Because it is in line with what my aim is in life and what I want to experience. So I have early morning meditation. And it is not negotiable. So it doesn't matter what sale Macy's has at 10 o'clock at night. I am not interested. Because I want to keep my appointment with myself in the morning. So Facebook may show all kinds of things, 11 o'clock at night. but that is not the time for me, because you have aim. Does that help? Otherwise we are like herd. You just do what everybody does. On the subway platform, everybody, there are two muscles that are very strong these days in everybody, no? Both muscles are trained very well. Other muscles are not well trained, but these two are very strong. We are hurt. No, we don't need to be. We are not meant to be also.
On the other hand,
And fix the aim every day for yourself. What I do today. What is aim for your... And a bigger idea also. What is aim of your life? Because in function of aim, you decide and make choices. And measure progress also. Okay? Anyone else? Any final comment? It's past time already. So quickly. Anyone on Zoom want to say anything? And some have started to leave already. Okay, let's close with a few more minutes. So again, just bring attention in this moment and create this conscious awareness that there is a physical, visible dimension, and there is a non-physical, invisible dimension. And we are invisible beings using a visible body. Thoughts and feelings, emotions, they're all invisible. Created by you, the soul. And just hold this awareness. Human being means body, human part, and the soul. Operating from the center of the forehead, innately peaceful. Free. Imperishable. Just get a sense of that timelessness. And security that comes from knowing the self as light, imperishable, immortal, consciousness. a guest in this body, a guest on this planet. When we know the self as these invisible observers, guests, everything becomes like an extra gift. And as we go through the rest of our journey, let us aim to remind ourselves of this regularly.